How many of you think that, you know, once I make so much money that I'm going to have the confidence, or once I, once I have that capability, then I'll begin to trust myself. Like once I get there, then I'll get this, right? And a lot of times that's what the world says. It's like, hey, once you hit that top echelon, once you become that, manager, that supervisor, that boss, that business owner or whatnot, then I will be successful. Then I will have confidence in myself because I've already made it, right? Let me tell you something. That's wrong. Because confidence really comes before the income. And let me explain a little bit more about what that is. For example, for me, I always thought the other way around too. I always thought, once I reach that, then I'll be confident in myself. Once I hit that point, then I'll be competent enough, And and one of the big things that happened was when I started to become a scoutmaster, right? At first I was the assistant scoutmaster and then I became the scoutmaster. And at that point, I was like, shoot, like I'm at the scoutmaster, but I was competent. I had the knowledge. I I made it all the way through, scouting. I was an Eagle Scout, you know, um, and I did all that kind of stuff. I went to all of the trainings, like I participated in all of the trainings and did all that kind of stuff. I had the experience, by, just being a scout. And also I'd been an assistant scoutmaster for several years. Like I knew what to do, but yet once I got into there, I still lacked that self-confidence, you know. And many people may say, sit there and like, wow, he was a good scoutmaster. But the thing was is that I didn't feel like I was that great because I didn't have that self-confidence. And when I didn't have that self-confidence, I was hesitant in so many things. Because, when we don't have that self-confidence, we're sitting here and we're like, okay, lack of self-confidence usually equates to hesitancy. We have that hesitancy. We don't make those decisions as quickly as we could. We're not sure about those decisions. It affects our personality. It affects the way that we feel, the way that we present ourselves. And that's the whole point. It's like that confidence doesn't come because of income. That confidence doesn't come because of position. It comes before all of that. That confidence comes from that self-trust. That confidence comes from knowing that you can trust yourself. See, there are plenty of opportunities out in the world. There's opportunities like wherever you go. But a lot of times we hesitate. We hesitate because we may feel like we don't have the competency, right? We may hesitate because we don't have the competency. We may hesitate because we don't feel ready, right? Okay? We're not quite ready yet. And so because of that, we don't make those decisions. But what really gets our income up isn't this kind of stuff. It's really those decisions. The quality of the decisions, okay? That quality of those decisions, that's what really brings up our confidence. When we decide things, when we decide to do something, that's when that confidence starts to grow. When we develop that identity, when we develop that structure, when we know and we can trust ourselves, that's really where we gain that confidence. And with confidence comes money. Okay? With confidence comes money. That's where the money comes. That confidence. It's that the confidence. It's that decision making. Those quality of decisions that we make, that's where we get that's where we get the income. See, when we become those leaders, when we get to that point and we develop it, that's where the income starts coming in. So in reality, confidence comes before income. In fact, it is the financial skill. If we, we don't get confident when we succeed, but confidence breeds that success. So here's that question. If my income equals confidence and self-trust, what does that say about me? Right? What does my income say about me? And now, like, what decisions am I delaying because I may not trust myself yet? Am I waiting for, like, certainty? Where am I waiting for that certainty before I make that decision? Like, why not just make the decision, even though you're not quite this certain? It could be because of that fear, right? It could be that self-trust, right? Those are the things that kind of prevent us from moving forward. But when we start having that self-confidence, okay, when we start having that self-trust, what happens to fear? It's gone. We know that we can overcome it. We know that we can succeed. When we have that confidence and that trust in ourselves, we know that fear can't stay there. And when we don't have that fear, what does that say about the decisions that we start making? Right? So once we start making those decisions, because of our confidence, because of our self-trust, what happens with the money? The money increases. So self-improvement in that area, confidence and trust, that's going to get you the money. What do you think about that? It comes from placing yourself in environments where clarity is required. Okay? Doesn't come from thinking harder. It comes from those decisions. When those decisions are expected and we make them. And that's what I'm working on right now. That's what I want to help you with right now. If you are interested in learning more about this, definitely continue to subscribe. Like, check out the videos, go to my website, check out some of the courses that I've got there. Because it's going to help you out. I know it will.